Now batting, Nicole Lee. I don't know what your number would be if I was to announce you as batting.
I've thought about this.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's my birth year, but that would be kind of cheesy.
Like the whole 1,900.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
Actually,
great.
you know how it was crazy when the first few athletes did 99 or 00 as their numbers?
Yeah, huh?
The first athlete to do like a 4-digit number.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
I'd be like
I would be
Lee 9000.
I would be 17.
17. Oh yeah?
Yeah, because that was my favorite football player's number growing up, and it was what I chose as my Little League number. Yeah. All right. Jenny not here today. Metal Freak was asking. She is taking her husband to the airport, and she's kind of technically been on vacation, even though she's been in here every day. So I'm going to let her just have the day off. She did a ton of stuff already in the lineup and everything. She's just not here right this second. For the hangout. But Nicole Lee is. Thank you, Nicole. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
At the end of the day, making free content doesn't come cheap. Show your support for the independent content you're listening to right now at patreon.com/acedetect. That's patreon.com/ACEDTECT.
This is the Daily Tech News for Wednesday, July 16th, 2014. I'm Tom Merritt, and joining me today, Engadget editor Nicole Lee. How's it going, Nicole?
Going well. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on. It's been too long since we chatted some technology together. And you wrote up a story yesterday afternoon that I thought was interesting about Google+. We're going to get to in our main discussion.
Right on.
But let's start off with the headlines. GigaOM reports Amazon had some test pages up describing an all-you-can-read book subscription service. Think Scribd, but run by Amazon. They're calling it Kindle Unlimited. The pages listed the service as $9.95 a month with access to more than 600,000 ebooks and thousands of audiobooks. Don't forget they own Audible, too. The pages have since been taken down.
I feel that this. I feel like the book rental service is a little bit nascent at this point. I think Amazon might be the company to open it wide open.
I think it's weird that they're putting audiobooks, and I can tell there's only 1,000, right? And Audible has like 100,000 titles. Because I pay for the Audible subscription. If I had enough audiobooks in that thing, I'd just pay for that, right?
Yeah.
And get all my stuff that way. So they will crush the Scribds.
They will crush Scribd, the Oysters, I believe is another one. Yeah.
Oyster is the other one. That's right. I'm sure there's a few more, but those are the two big ones. So I don't know if I really like that. Amazon's getting a little too big.
I agree.
The enterprise partnership between Apple and IBM is certainly big as well, and it's a concern for Microsoft and Google as they try to encourage corporate adoption of their own handsets. However, it could actually prove deadly for BlackBerry. The troubled Canadian company has bet a lot of their success on the strength of their ability to manage devices in the enterprise. Things like BlackBerry Enterprise Server are their strong point. They've been making strides towards the ability to manage across platforms like Android and iOS together. BlackBerry CEO John Chen said, "This only underscores the ongoing need for secure end-to-end enterprise mobility solutions like those BlackBerry has delivered for years." What else has he got to say? It's the right thing. BlackBerry stock shares, however, did take a dip in Wednesday trading. Reuters reports Apple agreed to pay $450 million to settle claims the company conspired with 5 major book publishers to fix ebook prices. The settlement, however, is conditional on the outcome of a pending appeal. A ruling by the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New York in Apple's favor could reduce the settlement amount to $70 million, quite a big reduction, or even eliminate payments altogether, depending on the ruling. PC Mag, or as I wrote it by accident here, PC Mage, because they have wizard-like powers. PC Mag reports Sprint and T-Mobile USA plan to jointly bid around $10 billion in next year's FCC incentive auction of spectrum relinquished by TV broadcasters. Sprint parent company SoftBank wants to acquire T-Mobile USA, hence encouraging them to team up. All right, how about some BlackBerry good news? GigaOM reports a BlackBerry Assistant app is part of the forthcoming BlackBerry 10.3 software update. BlackBerry Assistant seems to be an app launcher and information provider, more on the lines of Siri, similar to Cortana, but without the contextual suggestions like you get in Cortana or Google Now. Little too late.
You know, too little too late is, I feel, everything. That's the phrase we always say when it comes to BlackBerry, right? New phone, too little, too late. New OS, too little, too late. We'll see. I mean, I think if you are a BlackBerry owner and if you are for some reason a loyal BlackBerry user, this is actually a pretty good thing. It sort of keeps you within the fold before you really consider about jumping platforms. But we'll see. I mean, it's just like another thing that it keeps it on parity with the other systems, at least.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to forbear saying too little, too late with BlackBerry when they do things that they need to do.
They need to
and
do it,
say they needed to do this. There's another
Absolutely.
box that they're ticking off.
Right.
I resolve from now on. Mashable reports on Dr. Cynthia Brazel's Indiegogo campaign to fund a family robot called Jibo, Jibo. The robot can take photos, tell stories while showing images on its touchscreen, and of course, dance around like a fool and act things out. It can even act out the stories it tells. It's really fluid motion. It's kind of cute. Even has touch sensors on its head. However, it's not mobile. It doesn't move around. It doesn't roll around. That helps keep the price down. Also, some off-the-shelf mobile parts like processors and touchscreens help keep the price down as well. $499 is what they're asking for on Indiegogo. It does recognize faces, run on Linux, and is programmed in JavaScript. Might want one for your family home. The BBC reports Caroline Doudet has been ordered by a French judge to change the title of her blog's restaurant review and pay 1,500 euros damages. The post was titled "The Place to Avoid in Cap Ferret Il Giardino" and described poor service and attitude, in Doudet's opinion. The judge ruled that the post was harmful not because of the content. He didn't ask her to change the post, although she deleted it anyway. He only asked her to change the title because it showed up 4th in Google search. So if she hadn't been so good at SEO, Nicole, it would have saved her 1,500 euros.
She should have kept quiet, apparently. I mean, that's unfortunate. It's too bad.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just a weird decision.
Like, why is that?
Well, your title is rude, so you owe
You're
1,500 euros and change the title. And like I said, the entire post has already been deleted anyway. Engadget reports the U.S. Senate passed a bill legalizing cell phone unlocking in the USA. A similar bill had already passed the U.S. House. The only difference between them, the House version has a restriction on bulk unlocking. Once the differences are reconciled, though, the bill can go to the U.S. president, and back alley unlockers will be able to come out into the light of day. Also, the U.S. Congress can pretend it actually did something this session.
I mean, we'll see if this really changes things. I mean, hopefully, you can bring it to your local neighborhood questionable storefront shop to get it unlocked. But I mean,
it's really not that hard to get your phone unlocked now. I do appreciate that there should be legal protection for me to do that. I'm not against the bill or anything.
Yeah.
But it's one of those like should have been this way all along. I'm glad they're doing it.
Totally.
Time for some news from you. These are from our subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, which you can be a star of. You can go and submit stories just like everybody else you hear on the show. There's nothing stopping you. Go subscribe, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, submit some links, or just do some voting. If you're a lurker, I don't really want to submit a link, Tom, but I want my opinion to be known. Just vote them up and down, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. S. Snapier posted VentureBeat's article quoting CBS head Les Moonves, saying he was willing to talk to Aereo about a deal to carry content. Aereo has argued in its current court case it should be allowed to carry broadcast channels under a compulsory license that they would pay for. However, broadcasters can choose to require retransmission consent, and then they can charge more if they wish. I'm guessing that's what Moonves would like to talk to them about. Like, how much you got, Barry Diller? We'll let you carry our content for a fee. CBS is good at that kind of negotiation, too. Look at Hulu. Mike P. Kennedy pointed out the Verge post on a New York Times report that Time Warner turned down an $80 billion takeover from 21st Century Fox. The Times sources say Rupert Murdoch is still determined to get that takeover done anyway. Fox apparently would sell CNN as part of the deal to avoid conflicts with owning 2 major news channels. They own Fox News already. Time Warner, don't forget, is made up principally of Turner Broadcasting channels like TNT and CNN, HBO, and Warner Brothers Film Studio. It is different from Time Warner Cable. That's a whole other acquisition target. That's what we need, more consolidation among TV producers. And Cat and Kipper posted the Verge article that Tesla Motors announced its smaller, more affordable electric car will be called the Model 3. The vehicle will be 20% smaller than the Model S and go more than 200 miles on a charge. Tesla plans to show off the car in 2016, so it's not coming anytime soon, and it'll apparently go on sale 2017. They said they wanted to call it the Model E, but Ford sued them?
BMW.
Oh,
BMW, I believe, right?
Okay, I thought it was Ford, but somebody sued them
because they have like BMW 3 Series, I think, is part of their model lineups. But the interesting thing about it was there was sort of an internal joke because they have the Model S, they have the Model X, and the Model E would be, it would spell out the word sex,
right?
SEX. So apparently they wanted to be an E, but they're like, so they call it the Model 3. The 3 would be represented with the 3 bars. The Roman numeral for 3, and if you turn it sideways, it kind of looks like an E,
Sure, it's leet speaky, anyway. Right? The 3.
Right. But I think the really cool thing about this car is it's going to be super affordable, apparently. Like $35,000 is the starting price, from what I hear.
We'll see what happens by 2017. We'll but yeah, if it was on sale today, that'd be a luxury model car. Yeah.
A $35,000 Tesla.
It would not be a sports car. It'd be a luxury car at that point.
Right, luxury
It'd be like
car.
a Lexus, right?
Exactly, like a Lexus or an Acura, I'm assuming. And it'll be affordable, and it'll be smaller, apparently, smaller than the current Model S. This is a car that I think I would definitely want to buy.
I know exactly what you mean when you say affordable, but it makes me laugh because I have never paid $35,000.
You know what I'm trying to say.
It's definitely affordable compared to a Tesla, right?
Yeah. Affordable compared to the current offerings.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm waiting for that 4th model. Well, I guess this really is the 4th model technically, but they're saying Model S, Model X, Model 3. So when that 4th model comes, maybe it'll actually start dipping down towards my price range, at least used. And there'll be more superchargers out there.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing. The more superchargers, more longer mileage, because I think it's 200 miles per charge, I believe.
This one is a little lower than the Model S for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you could maybe bump it up a little bit more, that kind of thing.
Better batteries, something like that. Yeah. And that is a look at the headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been working hard for years on a tech history book. And basically a big Google document that just has what happened in tech history every day. I blog it at tommerritt.com. If you're interested in what happened on this day in tech history, go take a look at that. I do a podcast version of it as well. And I also have been doing something with Scott Johnson that we're selling on Kindle called a Kindle Single, 99 cents every month. So you can get a look at what happened on every day in that month along with Scott's illustrations. So if you got 99 cents and you're interested in tech history, you might want to check it out. They're available along with all my other books at tommerrittbooks.com. Google Plus has changed its mind. This is not a surprise, as they removed Google Plus's head not too long ago, and then they've just started to change everything with Google Plus. You can now use a not real name. Nicole, they went through so much trouble, the backlash against the real name, the backlash against the real name on YouTube, and then they changed they adjusted the requirements a little bit, allowing pseudonyms at least on your profile, allowing you to use a username on YouTube, and now they've just given up the fight altogether.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I appreciate what they say is the reason behind the real name policy. The idea is that if you use your real name, it cut down the number of trollish behavior, right? The idea of the anonymous trollish behavior, and which is what I mean. That was kind of the complaint against YouTube comments, right? It was a cesspool of crazy.
Because I could just put like comments. Troll Tesla S3 troll as my username, and nobody would really know who I was.
Right. I mean, that was, and I understand the reasoning behind this. If you have a real name behind you, that gives you, credibility, that kind of thing, accountability mostly. But, some people don't want to use their real names on the internet. Like, I think that's a perfectly legitimate concern. I don't want people to know that I'm Nicole Lee from work sometimes, right? I think that's decent, and they've so much backlash from this. Finally, they're like, okay, you can use whatever name you like, although not any name. You still have to comply by certain rules.
Yeah, you can't use naughty names, right?
Yeah.
They've got a list of prohibited words. They're going to play Victorian censor on you.
Yeah.
You could also, and this one I agree with. You can't pretend to be somebody else. You can't pretend to be Nicole Lee unless you're Nicole Lee.
Absolutely. Right, and I think when you go to entering your name, you still need to have a first and last name.
That's just because that's the way the form is built. They don't want to change it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably why, because you can add like a dot, like Nicole dot, as your dot as your last name. You could do that, but it's finally. I mean, at least there's some freedom in that sense. I also know a lot of friends that I've met through World of Warcraft and a lot of gaming circles. I call them by their gaming names.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a very common thing in certain circles.
Oh, for sure. There's people in the chat room that I still, when I meet them in real life, call them by their chat room name.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
how I got to know them.
Yeah.
Then there's people like Dr. Kiki or iJustine.
Yeah.
Who go by those names. They're not necessarily even trying to hide their real names, but they're like, nobody calls me Justina Zarek. That's not what I go by. I go by iJustine. That's what I want my Google Plus profile to say. That's what I want my Google Plus name to be. I get that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is good. Finally, they're saying, okay, you know what? We give up.
Now, I know a lot of folks are out there going, who cares? Nobody uses Google Plus. Ghost town. Et cetera, et cetera. Back in March, I was looking this up. Forrester did a survey of 60,000 U.S. adults. Forrester Research, a good research company. They found that people in the survey used Google Plus once a month. 22% of them. 22% of the people used Google Plus once a month, which was the same amount as said they used Twitter once a month.
Yep.
It was bigger than LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and about the same as Twitter. They also found that for a lot of big brands, they got at least 90% as many followers on Google Plus as they have on Twitter. So what do you think is actually going on with Google Plus? Because I don't think there's anyone who's going to say that it is threatening Facebook in any way.
No, not actually.
Or even that it's threatening Twitter. It seems to have found its own weird niche somehow.
So there's this idea, I believe, and I think it's unfair to Google Plus. I mean, I don't really use Google Plus that often, but I do recognize that it is right up there. I mean, you're completely right. The number of monthly active users that Twitter has is around 255 million users, according to Twitter, and Google is not that far off. It's around 300 million or so. So it's on parity with Twitter. But I think the difference is, from what I understand anyway, is that on Facebook, you are communicating and connecting with people that you know in real life, or that you know in some way. Whereas Google Plus is about people you don't know. It's about like-minded strangers, right? The whole idea of communities and circles and like news circles. So it's about you connecting with people that you don't know in real life, but you have similar interests. And I think that's sort of missing in all the discussion about where Google Plus stands in the milieu of social networks.
I would say that the one thing Google has done right with Google Plus is insinuate it into its world, so that if you use Gmail, or use YouTube, you have that little bell looking at you with the notification on it, and you're more likely to just check in. It's really easy to just be in your Gmail and go, oh, I got a couple of notifications. Who said this? Who did that? I rarely go and interact on the Google Plus page, but I will interact through that little drop down quite a bit. And so I don't think about the fact that I'm using Google Plus the way I go to Twitter. Like I'm running TweetDeck and I'm looking at all my Twitter posts and I'm actively like, I'm going to look at Twitter right now. Right. But I sort of do it anyway. Like it's evil.
Well, that's kind of like that's sort of the criticism against Google Plus, right? Like, oh, I have to use Google Plus in order to comment, or I have to use it to leave a review on the Google Play Store. Like I have to be in this system in order to interact. But it's also like I believe Dave Besbris, I think, is the current product lead for Google Plus. He was saying like it's the social fabric of Google.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really good way to think about Google Plus. It's the social fabric that connects all of Google's multiple disparate services together. You know.
I really, really, really think they blew it when they integrated Google Plus into YouTube.
Oh, totally.
But I think it was the right idea.
Yeah.
I think if they had figured out a more elegant way of doing it, it would have been perfect. Because, yes, having this sort of one way that ties in your Google identity to things is appealing to a lot of people.
It makes sense, totally. But it's, as you said, the way they did it pissed off so many people.
Yeah, and that's Google's other problem, right? As they try to say, look, we just want one identity for you to use everywhere because we want to know everything about you and sell ads to you, starts to creep people out.
Stop it, Google. Come on.
And don't forget, my wife is employed by YouTube, by Google, so I always have to disclose that. But I still think it's creepy. And it's part of the reason I've resisted joining Google Music. People are like, oh, all access is what you want, Tom. It's a subscription plan and the ability to store your music. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want them having one more thing on me. That's like, gosh, they're everywhere. So yeah, even if Google Plus isn't winning, I don't think it matters. I think it's doing.
I don't think
Google
it matters. I mean, just remember we said about how a BlackBerry needs a voice thing to be competitive. Google needs a social thing to be competitive. It's just the way the world is right now.
It ticks off the box, exactly. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the calendar. The Destiny beta coming to PlayStation 4 July 17th. So I probably won't be doing a show tomorrow, I guess, because I'll be playing the Destiny beta. No, it's not that true. I am unusually excited. I don't get excited about first-person shooters much, but I am excited about this. Do you care about Destiny beta at all?
I don't have a PlayStation.
You don't have a PlayStation 4, so you don't care about it a little bit. Well, maybe you care about QuakeCon 2014. It begins tomorrow, and with it comes a more expansive trailer for Doom 4. So Doom and Quake fans will be excited about that. The Nokia Lumia 930 hits the UK on July 17th with free wireless charging pad. Hey, something for you Brits. Q2 earnings out for Google and IBM tomorrow as well. And Activate London, the Guardian's platform for digital innovators, begins its conference on July 17th. That's all tomorrow. Our pick of the day comes from Charles Durst. Do you eat food, Nicole?
I've been known to eat food, yes.
Yeah, we have so much in common. I do too. And apparently Charles does as well. He says, for food shopping, I can't buy anything without scanning it with Fooducate first. Fooducate.
That slowly, okay.
Fooducate. It's a curated database of food products submitted by users and evaluated by experts. All you have to do is scan a product's barcode, and the app will give you the product a letter grade based on the ingredients and nutrition information. It will also tell you how healthy the product is relative to similar products, and it will flag any ingredients that are especially good or bad based on the current research with a link that explains why. Sometimes the results are surprising. You wouldn't believe how different the grades are on 2 different brands of hummus or other healthy products. The app is free for Android and Apple with options to report allergens, gluten, or track diets with a Pro subscription. I just use the free version, and I find it a lot easier than reading all the ingredients and trying to remember which are supposed to be bad ones. He says, too bad it won't tell you whether the price is a good deal. I was thinking the exact same thing, Charles. If it could do that, it would be the perfect shopping app.
This is very illuminating. I'm looking at this list right now, and I'm seeing like a lot of the, healthy protein bars. This is a C, a grade C, for one of those, protein bars you always see.
A grade C?
Marketed as health food. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those bars are not good. They include a lot of sugar sometimes, a lot of additives.
True. Yeah.
My dad was a food scientist, and we would always make fun of him because when we would go shopping, he would read the labels because he knew what all that stuff was. And he wasn't looking at it for health reasons. He was looking at it out of like professional curiosity, like what preservatives did they use to color this red, etc. But he would have loved this because it would just have been able to scan and give him all kinds of stuff. Although he probably would have taken issue with the health recommendations of it. He was always skeptical about that stuff. But I love it. Good pick, Charles. Thank you for that. Fooducate.com.
Sure.
Send your picks to feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com, and you can find my picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Got a couple of messages to finish up the day. Your and my friend Veronica Belmont's husband, Ryan Block's face was on the front page of Yahoo last night. It was quite surreal.
Yeah, yeah.
Eileen and I were just kind of sitting on the couch looking at that like, whoa. We talked actually, Annie Gauss and I talked about the call, the famous recorded Comcast service rep call. Tony writes in and says, hey, Tom and Jenny, I feel like I'm spamming about this Comcast customer retention story since I sent a similar email to Cord Killers, but I heard you guys talk about it on DTNS. The Comcast rep was way out of line, whether it was him personally or Comcast policies and procedures at fault. Ryan was right. He didn't owe them an explanation for why they were dropping service. It doesn't matter what was said in the first 10 minutes of the call. If the rep had to check something off his list, there should be an option for customer declined to answer questions, and that should have been that. Forcing a customer to spend 20 minutes or more on the phone just to terminate service is appalling. A customer should have the right to terminate any service, no questions asked, if their account is in good standing. Maybe a simple, would you be interested in a special offer for remaining a loyal Comcast customer would be okay, but there's no excuse for badgering a customer that just wants to cancel. I tend to agree that this would not happen if we had true competition. I am a Comcast customer because I don't have a real broadband alternative in my area, but if I had a choice, I would never even consider going back to them after being treated like that. The rep made the claim that they are the #1 provider, but that doesn't mean much in a market without choice. End rant.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people agree with Tony. I still maintain that it's easy to pick on the rep. You're only hearing half the call. Maybe he started out the sweetest guy in the world and started getting frustrated. I don't mean to imply that Ryan and Veronica in any way are to blame for this. They were just trying to cancel their service and they should be allowed to do it. I point the blame at Comcast. They have created an environment that encourages this kind of aggressive retention. And I've read countless stories from people who've worked at Comcast on the internet saying, you have to maintain a certain percentage level of retention, and if you don't meet it, you don't get paid.
Yeah. I mean, it's a totally a problem. I saw recently, I think was it today or yesterday, where Comcast came out with this statement saying, "Oh, we're embarrassed. We apologize. This would never happen." You know what? This was probably him doing his job. Like, it's not. He was doing his job, and it was probably part of your policy to put it that way. You're embarrassed and you apologize. That's great, but it probably happens all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And when Comcast first posted the apology, I thought it was the right thing to do, and I still think it was the right thing to do, to say that is not how we want customer service to be, and we are embarrassed and we apologize. Like, don't try to point at fingers, don't say anything. But the one thing that Ryan Block posted on Twitter that I thought was really good was, I hope you don't fire that guy. I hope you change your company culture. Right. And I think that was very well said and pointed to the real problem, which is, I think what Ryan is pointing out is, I don't think any of us believe that guy was just off the reservation and nobody's ever like that. I think that's what they have encouraged, and they need to change that. That's not okay.
Absolutely. I mean, they should definitely have apologized, and they did, which is great. And they were embarrassed by it, but they should make it clear that they're embarrassed by their policies, not just by the action of the one person.
Right. Absolutely. And if you really want to win this, if you want to win this embarrassment, you come out with a little transparency and say, this is now what we instruct people to say during retention. And if you don't get this kind of experience, let us know. Because we're holding the reps' feet to the fire, and we've changed our compensation package, et cetera, et cetera. Tell us what you're actually doing to not make this the way it is supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Andrew Boyder writes in, I wanted to comment on the email from yesterday about Charter's speed bump and AT&T's response. We had an email from a guy who noticed that he just got an unannounced speed bump suddenly, and then AT&T came knocking at the door saying, hey, we've added UVerse to your neighborhood. And he's like, oh, that's why Charter gave me a speed bump. Andrew thinks the speed bump is the result of encryption of cable signals that was in the news towards the beginning of last year. He says, on the one hand, I'm disappointed that I can't get local broadcast channels for free anymore. We're cord cutters that live in the mountains and can't get an antenna signal. On the other hand, it's nice to have double the bandwidth and not pay any extra. Andrew, you're right. There is a technical way that they have been pursuing for a while that helps them increase that bandwidth, and that is exactly why the bandwidth happened. I do think the timing and the method of rollout is suspicious. I do think that it's quite possible that this new technology would have meant a more expensive tier being offered to our emailer if AT&T hadn't been around. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm always against monopolies and that kind of thing. So hopefully this will help you, Andrew.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. And yeah, hopefully the extra bandwidth will, and hopefully the Aereo thing will get figured out. Maybe you'll actually get access to channels that way or something like that. Well, thank you, Nicole Lee. Twitter.com/Nicole, because she's been a Twitter member forever, so she gets the one name Twitter handle.
That's right.
I was stupid and didn't choose.
Oh, it's okay. You don't want to be Tom on Twitter. You'd
Probably
be like,
couldn't have been Tom anyway. That one must have been gone even by 2006. But
Right.
Twitter.com/Nicole. And of course, find her on Engadget. Anything you're working on? Anything you want to plug? Let people know about? Anything like that?
Just follow up. I'll be covering the Google earnings tomorrow probably, so stay tuned for that if there's anything coming out of that. And yeah, just follow me on Twitter and we'll find out.
Excellent. You have good Twitter posts too.
I do.
I enjoy what you post.
Okay.
So definitely follow Nicole. And definitely thank a patron. If you are, thank yourself. If you know one, thank them, because they're the people that make the show possible for everybody to listen to. 4,145 patrons out there. We can't ever thank you enough for seeing the value in the show and giving a little value back. That's the proposition. Value for value at patreon.com/acedetect. And we hope you're getting your money's worth. We appreciate what you do, and we work hard to be deserving of it. bit.ly/helpdtns as well. Don't forget you can have a voice in the stories we cover at our subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. Don't forget about that. Email us feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Give us a call. Leave us a voicemail, 512-59-DAILY. That's 512-593-2459. And listen to the show live, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 Pacific at mobile.alphageekradio.com. Our website is dailytechnewsshow.com. We'll be back with Brecky Thomason from Sweden tomorrow. See you then.
This podcast is part of the Frog Pants Studios Network. For more information about this and other shows, visit frogpants.com. Audio program so good, it's like you're there.
Yay.
Yay!
That was great, Nicole. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Anytime. And I would like to schedule you in advance rather than like calling you at the last minute. You are our savior today, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why I didn't have any stories to plug, because I'm sort of in between things. So.
And if you're ever working on like a bigger feature piece or something that you want to come on and discuss and plug and drive people to read, let me know. We love doing that kind of stuff.
Sure. Great. Perhaps in the coming months or so.
All right.
Awesome. Bye, Tom.
All right. See you later.
See you later.
And now you will get to watch me edit the show alone. Or will you? I'm just gonna sit here and level 8. Oh, we need titles. Showbot is out. Thank you, El Khalif. What do we got? Tesla sells sex with a 3. Brilliant. Silverblade. That's awesome. Google plus pseudonym. A for effort, Toby Pinder. PC Mage. Awesome. Unlocking Congress is good too. Congress unlocks. Clever. Ario's Moonshot. Are we talking about a car or a lady? Unreal Google. Kind of a mashup. It ticks off the box. Plus Identity. Google's real name departs in shame. I like that one. And It's Your Destiny. Good one too. I think the top voter getter is my one though. You know, I was thinking about that when we were talking about it, and I saw people in the chat room throwing that around. So Tesla sells S3X, and I don't have to do any inline styles to make that work, right? That'll work in all caps. All right, good. Excellent work, everyone. Oh, thank you, QNX Monkey. Zoe Brings Bacon is singing All By Myself right now, so imagine that in your head. And that will make things clear. If you're wondering where Jenny is, by the way, I mentioned it earlier. She's off. She's off. She has vacation, and she is taking her husband to the airport. She's been in the show anyway, even though she is technically supposed to have been on vacation, because that's the kind of producer she is. But she gets it off today. That's fine. She did plenty to prep the show. We're good. I'm just gonna do some wave outputs. This is the part that's harder to stream. This is why I never streamed before Jenny started hanging out with us. Because I can't really say much that's interesting while I edit, as you can tell plainly. But I'm gonna try. Don't forget to capitalize your 3s and titles. Maybe I'll just do play-by-play. So I'm converting the stereo track to mono. But see, then that just opens people like, why do you convert the stereo track to mono? I want the stereo track. And then to which I say, I want to make the file size a certain way, and you don't need stereo when we're just talking. And then we get in a fight. And then we go outside with pistols. And we settle things the old-fashioned way on the internet. We earn it. Or something. This is why you don't want me to talk while I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. Or maybe you're enjoying it. Maybe you're hoping I'm going to say something I'll regret, which is quite possible. I had an idea for a website today. I always have ideas for websites, and I never have times to do them. But this idea, I might do. Maybe I shouldn't say. In fact, I'm not going to. Actually, I had a lot of ideas today. It was idea day. All right, we are exporting. I'm going to see if there's any folks around. Just if you see a wild invite show up, then I did. Theater Monkey. Theater Monkey's like, you turned on your AC today? I did. Stereo. Exactly, Eternal Sword. Thank you. Thank you for defending me against the people that I imagined were going to cause an argument. I don't know. Well, W. Scott S1 wants to know how many websites I have. A dozen, I think, roughly. That's what you get. Stream of consciousness. Anyway, if you saw a Hangout invite pop up randomly, pay attention to it. Because I sent a couple out. Well, who's calling? Don't call me. That's not right. You gotta click the link. That was me. Now I'm just doing exporting. Exporting is not as fun because it doesn't use the part of my brain that stops me from saying silly things. Suncast, I actually do have a super site, kind of. It's tommerritt.com. That links to everything else, and it pulls in the posts from pretty much everything else. People familiar with the matter.com does not feed into tommerritt.com because I have nothing to do with that except for creating it. Oh, hey, look at that. We got somebody. What's up, David? DJM. I see you. Oh, I hear myself. There you are.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
So much going on.
Okay. Now.
Hey!
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me for whatever this might be.
I don't know what it is. I just wanted someone to chat with while I do my final exporting.
All right, well, then let me take a minute and put my ears on, as they say. And
I totally just sprung this on you. I didn't.
yes, you did. But
and you are live on the internet, just so you know.
If there is anyone on the internet that I would be happily caught completely off guard by.
Well, thank you. Okay.
So, is this for the big show, as they say?
Yeah, this is post-show.
Post-show.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm editing, and usually Jenny keeps everybody entertained while I do that.
Well, then, I'm sorry I missed Jenny in that case.
I know. See, that's the downside, right?
But I guess this will suffice, I suppose.
I'll do. I am going to start uploading. The show notes will be delayed today because Jenny won't do them until she gets back. Although she might be on her way back now, so they might not be too far delayed. Is that your Twitter alert?
No, this is my text.
That's text message. Okay. Yes. I know someone who uses that as their Twitter alert, particularly, so makes me think of that.
It seems as though that little particular sound, since it's the default Samsung sound, it's almost got an ironic quality to it at this point.
Uh-huh. Like it's mocking you.
But I just wiped my phone a couple of days ago, so I haven't gotten the chance to make my little sounds the way I want them.
Oh, so you're working fresh, huh?
So much so that on Lifehacker this afternoon, they had a story of have these apps on your Android phone. And I was saying to myself, how utterly inconvenient. I just wiped the thing.
Sweet. Well, and the cool thing with Android is you just log in and most of your stuff gets put back, so.
Most of it, yeah, but I wiped the phone, I wiped the SD cards, I cleaned everything from the ground up.
You're going scratchity scratch. What kind of what caused you to do that?
Well, I was trying to get my S3 to upgrade to KitKat, and they were pushing it out every couple of days, and it just would never take. It would just keep failing over and over again. And it's been a while since I've wiped the phone, and I like to do that every once in a while.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's just good maintenance for any computer.
And I figured, yeah, it's time. I'll wipe it, and then I'll get the update and get it up to date.
Yeah, that's smart.
And I say that I do that so people go with the idea that I know what I'm doing.
You know where you stand. You know, I actually, on iOS, have had my iPad crash twice and wipe everything off. Both times because I was messing around with beta software, so it's not a ding on Apple in any way. And I actually enjoyed it. I panicked a little the first time, but I so much enjoyed starting clean with like, okay, now I'm only going to put the apps on I know I actually use, that it was nice. It was like spring cleaning. So I think it's smart on any device to just go through and be like, let me just start fresh and see what I really need to have on here.
I would agree with you to a point if I had not been in the middle of another fire, because my tower for my PC was having some power supply problems and it wasn't turning on. And then that same day, the update for the phone came in and then stuff started going wrong. So I had two fires to deal with.
Oh yeah, that's no good. That's bad timing.
That was a PC and a phone meltdown day. So that was one of those days where I really had to trust in the heart of the cards and really hope that I knew what I was doing. And thankfully, everything came back.
That's good. That makes me so angry when stuff like that happens. I just get so tense and angry until it gets resolved, and then I'm just like, relax.
I never want to be around another machine again. It's all back up.
All right. Well, I think we're all plugged. We're all produced. Hey, look, you got your Hangout plugin installed. TVZ Gone is here.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, yay. Very fun.
Well, that is good timing. I'm done. Now I can actually chat a little. We're all produced. We're all published.
Excellent, excellent.
Very good, very good.
So, TVZ Gone, and then how do you want me to introduce you, DJ M?
It can be either one or both.
Okay.
We can go real name, kayfabe name, whichever.
You've got multiple alternate identifications too. So.
I have just the two. Just the two. People try and be cute and say my whole Twitter handle because they think that's funny, but no.
Well, thank you for joining me, gentlemen. Any business that we need to execute before we bring this broadcast day to a close?
Isn't this the part where
I-
we put up the thing with the Native American chief? Play
Yes,
the Star Spangled Banner?
right. And President Nixon reads the Pledge of Allegiance. There was one St. Louis broadcaster that did that for a while. It was weird. Or God Bless America, sung by Kate, what's her name? Kate Bess, I think.
I vote James Brown.
I would
America-
vote James Brown
America
for sure.
the
I
Beautiful.
don't care if that's the tradition or not. It's a much better version.
Oh, of course. Everyone knows.
Did you get all your photos up yet?
They're actually about maybe about halfway, a little bit more than halfway there. I've been posting them into the Tadpole, except for Night Attack Live went into the Tadpole and the Diamond Club Facebook groups. A lot of people were asking why I went just with Facebook, but apparently Flickr groups do not allow things like albums or folder hierarchies, and that's ridiculous.
What?
You can have a personal account and personal folders and albums and things, but it doesn't translate into a group. And when you copy pictures into a Flickr group, you have to go from stuff you've already uploaded to your photo stream, and only 6 at a time. And I've uploaded, I think it's about 700 or 800 pictures so far from Nerdtacular, and I've got about another 650 to go. So I really didn't feel like doing that.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Spectacular.
And that, my friends, is
I
why
have no
Flickr is
excuse.
losing.
Yeah, Facebook doesn't have, a lot of people trying to resist it, and I do have Dropbox available if people really ask me nicely. Mostly I have that just because I've been sharing those directly to Scott, because he posted a lovely message for me on Facebook yesterday saying, happy birthday, because my birthday was on Monday. As happy birthday, please send me all the cool pictures now.
Right now.
Unbirthday present. It's your birthday, so send me all your pictures.
Exactly.
Hey, thanks for posting them on the subreddit too, by the way.
Oh yeah, no worries. That's I know a lot of the people for Daily Tech News Show hang out specifically in the subreddit, so I figured that'd be a nice way to reach them. Night Attack, I guess I could do their subreddit as well, but not everybody goes there. It's one of those things. Tadpool type people generally stick around Facebook a lot and things.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes.
Hey, you know
but
whose
yeah,
birthday it is tomorrow?
Oh yes, you're right.
Scott Johnson.
Yeah. As he hits the 4-5, big man.
What should we do?
It's a good question.
It's the last day that Scott and I are the same age.
You really need to rip him for that. Just
I did a little bit at Nerdtacular,
Just
actually.
really dig in.
Old man Scott.
I'll have to see, because I did get one of the secret folders that's up there. During our photo booth thing that we had going on upstairs at Nerdtacular, Kim Johnson was able to get her entire family shuffled in there, and so we actually got family pictures of the whole family. So Kim, Scott, and the kids, and then just some of the kids and some of Kim and Scott. So they had like some pretty nice looking pictures. So I don't know, I'll have to maybe do something with that or something exciting.
Tensor Guy's trying to get in here, and it says it's giving him audio compatibility issues, which is odd.
I was going to ask you something, Tom, just because I've had some International Anime League ideas running in my head.
Oh, did you?
I have. Has there been any other kind of minor leagues that have come up? Have anybody come up with any minor leagues of their own?
Well, yes. PD Rave has had some coverage out there. I don't know if you've run across the Dick Schaefer show. He's covered not only the San Francisco Federation, but a lot of the minor leagues. In fact, they were discussing the possibility of Gotham and Metropolis merging as in an attempt to get out of the minors recently. So there's a few. There's not many, though.
Okay. Because I was just thinking about that a couple of days ago, and I was wondering, I can't be the only person that has come up with their own league for the FSL. I can't be the only person.
And I bet there's even more out there, because every year when we do the vote for the elevation, we get people talking about like such and such team from this or that league. Why? What are you thinking?
Well, in my head, it is that if I really decide to make the Anime League go forward, it'll be a really big undertaking that, for all we know, I might end up lying in a ditch somewhere that I might do. Also, and with the explosion of Sailor Moon Crystal on Hulu, wow, the Luna City Sailors have gotten big.
There's a lot of growing support for them. I've noticed. It's not just from the usual corners either. So
it's the actual viewing numbers for the first episode of the new Sailor Moon series were out of this world. So
literally,
they were very much so.
Yeah, no, people are going nuts. My sister-in-law is a big Sailor Moon fan, and she was losing her mind over it.
So I'm feeling it might be 20 years in the making for the resurgence.
Well, it's good to know we have a correspondent who's familiar with the league. Should we need that?
I liked talking with Patrick Delahanty at Nerdtacular. He did ask me if I was going to throw my support behind the Gizmonic.
Tom, I hate to go, but I just got a very important call from my sister.
Oh, no worries, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Delahanty's works?
Yes. Quite exciting. I guess he's pulling hard for the Gizmonic farm team to make it into the FSL with the viewer vote. That might be pretty nice.
Yeah, I think we should we should let some more campaigning happen this year for the FSL. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, and it's funny, we were just talking about it. I just got a message on Facebook from Scott Johnson in all caps about the pictures being very good, and that he just tweeted out a picture of his children saying, raising them right.
Aw, he sure does. He's a good man.
Yes. Yeah, so he gives me something to shoot for.
Well, I will start his birthday wishes by not singing happy birthday. There. That's my gift.
Exactly.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for popping in.
Hey, no problem. It's always fun.
All right. We'll see you all later.